Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Millionaire Mindset Mondays Live. I'm Jan Carmanico Reeves, your host, and we are here every Monday night. I was going to say Tuesday because we did it once on Tuesday after the holiday. Every Monday night at 6 p.m. EST. We have been talking about partnerships lately, the good, the bad, the ugly, people's experiences, tips and tricks. So tonight, Tony Enerson is with us, and we were just on a mastermind retreat together over in the Azores, which was wonderful. I was speaking with his wife earlier today. And anyways, welcome, Tony. Thanks for joining. Great to see you again. And why don't you tell us a little bit about your background, tech to real estate investing? Your transferable skills, your strengths.
Sure. Yeah. So it's really good to see you again, Jen, by the way. I see you're keeping well since the Azores. I can't see that you have any tan, so your tan must have faded pretty quick, eh?
Oh, I still did. Yeah, no, maybe it's just not showed up well.
Okay, fair enough.
The weather's
But
been great here, actually. Yeah.
yeah, I know we've been enjoying a nice warm fall. As far as us goes, okay, so both Carla and I, we are technical experts in the past. I used to run technical company, or like literally CTO, writing code in uh, companies that make apps, and decided to make this transition into real estate investing. And what kind of fueled that is first, when you're working for a tech, you're trading your or working for other people in contract kind of sense. You're always trading your time for money, right? I do hours and I'm building someone else's product, right? I'm building someone else's product. And then eventually I transition to start now making my own products, right? So now I'm using my time to build something that is like an income generating machine. And I think the next evolution of that is now with that income, with that money, finding something that can take your money and make money with it, right? And looking through all of the different kind of investment types that are around. I'm a really pretty much a get my hands on get my hands on it. I'm very hands-on kind of person. So I wasn't liking anything where I could, have to buy and wait like stocks and stuff. That felt like gambling. Um, and like mutual funds, never, right? Just that doesn't make sense to me. So we actually kind of fell in love with real estate as an asset class, as something to get into because it leverages the background we've got in business, right? Because we both run our own consultancies, and adds to that this, hard asset, right? And so started getting educated, joined the Wealth Genius program back in the beginning of this year, and spent the spring getting educated, working our way through the modules, and then the summer hunting. Um, we operate out here in Alberta. We are in Calgary, based in Calgary. Toka Investing is our name, and we are looking all the way. We like Red Deer, we like Edmonton, we like Medicine Hat, we like Lethbridge, and we've been building relationships there. And now I'm in the advanced stages of building relationships on the other side, connecting capital up to make these deals come to fruition. It's an exciting time.
That is exciting times. Yes, yes. So you've really been researching all the local markets there and checking out what's.
Well, yeah, that's kind of what I realized, right? There's a lot you can do remotely to a location, right? So, when we're looking at Saskatchewan or whatever, sure, you can make phone calls and talk to realtors and that kind of stuff, but there really is no substitute for being there. And um, that's where we're looking to. Of course, our first few that we want to buy close to us so that we can really because like I said, I'm a hands-on person, so we're looking to get to a place where, um, within a couple hours drive, I can get to. I mean, I'm going to use property management for all of it because I'm only targeting kind of 10 units and up, and which makes good sense for me as a business guy, right? Because I understand how to manage managers. And but by being close to us, I also realize the importance of that network, which is, when you want to find those deals, you got to show up to the local meetups, right? Like I got to shake hands and I got to actually go into the rooms with the people who are, having these kinds of conversations. And so there's the local people can always find, the more interesting stuff. And the local people also have the experience of what are these neighborhoods, right? Like I've been in Alberta 52 years, right? So since I was born. And while I must admit, I look at Alberta really differently now as a real estate investor than I ever did as a person who just a citizen, right? Like once you start that, you look around and you see really different things. Um, it is important to know which neighborhoods are actually turning over and which ones are just people are saying that they're turning over, but they're not actually turning over, right? Like the stuff that's always been not great. Yeah. So having that local knowledge for me, I feel protects me from making some bad decisions early on. So I really am focusing in on what's close to home uh, to get going for sure.
And really focusing on networking with the local investors who maybe do have more experience. So yeah, that's
Yeah,
like what it's
yeah,
all.
and service providers and realtors and all that stuff, right? Like when you talk to the realtors, of course, they're representing the seller, right? So I mean, no surprise, every property's great in
Yeah.
a perfect location, a prime investment opportunity, right? Uh, and so now when you talk to the local landlords, you get the different picture, right? When you join the
Right.
landlord boards and you start, yeah, that's when you really get a feel for how how the population's moving
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
the area. And so yeah, for me, the focus has been really local networking. Um, and then making that available to other people, right? People who want to come in from out of this place, right? Because Alberta is a great place to invest right now, right? I just happened to start at a good time.
Yeah. Yeah. And where you happen to live happens to be, yeah, a great place to invest. Yeah.
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 See, there's something to be said for luck,
Right.
right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So, um, so share with me, say, what's one lesson or insight from your real estate investing journey so far that you can share with our listeners?
Oh, okay. Well, honestly, I would say it like I've gone through a lot of communities in terms of, with my startups, the tech startups that I've always worked through, right? Because it was always meet a somebody who had an idea, like I want to make skip the dishes, but for dog food, right? And they may have all kinds of contacts around, pet food stores and all this stuff. But I come in as the executor, right? As the person who's actually going to build the thing and tie the ends together and connect the services up and that kind of stuff. And so I got to experience a lot of communities, like a lot of different business communities. And I gotta say, the real estate investor network, specifically like the Eagles, they are the most open to talk and to share and to like there is like in other industries, people really hold their cards close to their chest. They don't want to share any details about what they're looking at, right? Every person I've talked to is just so willing to help. And it is really, really actually quite refreshing uh, in terms of a way of doing business, right? When you think about how much um, then yeah, you just think about how much actual property there is out there, right? How many people there are who actually live, how many people there are who actually rent, how many buildings need to get built, and there really is just enough for more than enough for everybody, right?
Well, and that's what we say, right?
Mhm.
There's enough real estate to go around. We don't compete with each other. We collaborate. Right?
And it's such a collaborative community that I would say that as far as the one thing that coming from another pool into this pool, it's been a really pleasant culture shock.
Yes. And we're constantly saying that. I remember
Mhm.
being at a conference one time, a different group, and sitting with he was a plastic surgeon, and he would belong to the group. And he said, like, he couldn't believe how open and giving people were with their information. He says, like, when we go to a plastic surgeons conference, he says, like, it may be, they're doing the surgery up on the big screen, but you really can't see the techniques that they're doing, and they're really not
Mhm.
forthcoming with, like they like to keep some trade secrets, like they really,
Oh yeah.
So he was just blown away by, yeah, how giving and open and sharing we are as a community. It really is true.
I mean, it's refreshing. Like
Mhm.
I mean, I understand it's And in tech, of course, there's a lot of service providers who are always tripping over themselves, right? And they're competing, right? So there's
Right,
competition.
right.
And in a competitive environment, I do understand that, but I feel like real estate is so broad in terms of the kinds of things you can do. Like, when I first got into this, I thought, what, okay, so real estate is basically as old as private property, right? So like this concept is like from the 1400s. And what can really be new here? And then I just realized it's just always new. Like everything is turning over, like the attitudes are changing, approaches are changing. And so that causes there's so much space to operate that people don't have to compete as much. They can collaborate. And um, yeah, yeah, it's a great thing.
Yep, absolutely. And that's what this whole community is about, right? Is creating partnerships and collaborations, and just like with the property management company, that this new division that we formed, like it's just a
Right.
collaboration, right? And somebody has one skill and somebody else has one skill, and you bring them together. And so what do you believe are your unique skills that you can bring to the table to complement a JV partnership?
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah. So for me, and honestly, it's the same as back when I was tech, right? For me, it's about execution. So, and also, I'm as a software developer, I'm a professional problem solver, right? There's always more than one way to approach any particular situation. I'm pretty good at sussing out the three that are going to work, and then the one that we're going to do. And I'm also particularly a occupational hazard in my past was, kind of being a firefighter, not literal fires, but more like, commercial fires, right? Like, oh, this is falling apart. That's part of the deal. Like, and in that situation, you really need somebody who's never going to panic, right? Who's like even keel and that kind of situation. And so that's always been me. I've always been called in to do that. I'm good with negotiation, of course, and connecting that win-win. Because for me, teamwork has always been about bringing everybody's strength to the table and unlocking everybody's strengths, right? And it's surprising how many teams kind of end up tripping over each other or don't really leverage their strength, right? Or don't align. And that's uh, that's an area of particular strength for me, is I'm really good at um, sorting that out. So sometimes it's just staying in my lane. Sometimes it's knowing when to get out of my lane and actually help pull someone else into the boat, right? Or if somebody falls out of the boat, grabbing somebody, pulling them back in the boat. Like that's the kind of pretty much very active management that I'm good at from running long-term products and systems. That is the main asset that I'm bringing to this community. And then, of course, my local connections. Anything that happens around me, I'm pretty transparent. I know how to be transparent, and I know how to have those let's just say they could be contentious conversations, right? Like if something isn't working out, I know how to navigate that, right? We're going to have that conversation. I'm going to bring two options. We're going to talk and we're going to stay on the same side of the table. I've never had an investor in my previous career ever back out on me, right? Because I always take care of them. And it's about, once again, sharing the information the right way and caring about the project, which are two things that I've always been good with.
Yeah, so it's very transferable, right?
Yeah.
Coming into real estate investing, very, very much so. So I guess one of the other questions I had, in your opinion, what's the key to a successful JV partnership? And I think you've touched on some of the points here.
Yeah. It's trust.
Yeah.
Um, you you have to if you start by by having that trust, right? And that trust for me has always been based in competence, right? So you're good at something, right? So maybe you're a renovator, you are good at renovations, right? And you're transparent about the things you've seen before and the things you haven't seen before. So that way, when we steer into unknown waters, we're doing it together deliberately, right?
Mm.
Um, and once you have that trust, a small team that trusts each other, I've seen achieve amazing things, right? Pivot, make huge changes in their approach because of, market conditions change and they make a pivot and they move together, right?
Hmm.
When you don't have the trust, it immediately starts to show. The second anything goes wrong, that conversation gets, confrontational or somebody wants to blame something else or whatever, right? And um, solid trust based on competence and transparency. I think a great JV partnership, you maybe have a slight tendency to over communicate,
Hmm.
right? Like you would rather over communicate than under communicate because there shouldn't be too many surprises, right? Nobody wants to see a surprise, right? This thing that I've been, it's been flaming on my back burner for 2 weeks is now everybody's problem, right?
Right,
You want to avoid that situation. And so that is slightly over communicating and making sure to share even the stuff that you don't aren't necessarily proud of. Once you get through the trust, then the rest of it takes care of itself because you can talk about the things, right? You can talk about the things that, hey, what scares you about this situation? What scares you about this deal? What's the thing that, if it happens, it's gonna be a problem. If you don't trust somebody, those answers are never going to be honest,
right,
right?
right.
And then when they come up, now it feels like, oh no, I've been, you know, yeah. Trust is a thing. Almost everything else can be navigated, right? If you have trust.
Yeah, yeah. It's hugely important. Hugely,
That's
huge.
my take. Yeah.
Yeah. Trust and transparency, right?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Um,
if you have a decent process that works, that helps, right? That helps mechanize it so you can scale, right? So you can add more people. But from my perspective, like the way I see these investments running, which is like we're working together on them at a time, right? With a network of property management and other and like that. That's kind of a broader network. I see that core group needs to have really good, solid, trusting relationships for it to work well.
Absolutely. And processes that are transparent so that everybody's on the same page and
Yeah, yeah, that's actually interesting. With part of my outreaches that I've been doing recently, I've been asking questions to passive investors. Tell me about a tell me about a horrible experience. Surprisingly, not surprisingly, everybody has one, right? That they
hmm
want to talk
hmm
about, right? And
hmm
what I'm listening for is what's the process that I have to put in so that you have like what is it? So I've discovered, oh, I need quarterly net worth updates for your net worth statement, you know, and like so these are going to be things that are just simply cooked into how I operate. They're just
hmm
going to be a natural product. It's like, oh, I need to understand the equity position. I need to understand whatever. It's like, okay, so I start thinking, what's the system? So they can get that on their own time, right? Responsiveness has been an issue. I'm
hmm
like, okay, well, how can I get you the information you need? And then you only escalate to me if you actually have to ask a question.
hmm
So it's an approach to systems design that is to encourage transparency, right?
Right, right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And and I think if you have a system in place when you're communicating with possible potential partners that
Mhm.
and you show them your system, then they oh, nice.
It immediately
Yeah.
makes sense. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
I see how this fits. Yes, it's no substitute for showing people, right?
Right, right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah,
At
no,
least, well, it's how we've grown, how I've grown a lot of the business to business companies that I've started, right? It's about really, if you can nail that partnership aspect, you can get it like really dialed in. Um, it's a joy. It's a joy to execute. It's a joy to be a part of it, right?
right.
And that's the feeling I'm trying to create here in Toka.
Yeah, that's great. Um, And like myself, having been in business all my life, it's easy to go from one business to another, right? Like there's a lot of things that you can bring from a previous business, whether it's tech or a salon or a bakery or business is business, and you're dealing with people and you're selling a product and yeah, so it's yeah, customer service, all those kind of things are all transferable.
Absolutely. Yeah. And for me, of course, the easiest thing for me to transfer is the text. So, oh, yeah, you should see my CRM and all the stuff. Yeah. My building operating system, I'm starting to build up. It's amazing. It's amazing. Of course, it
I'm
never
sure
survives.
it,
Oh,
I'm
yeah, it
sure
is.
it is.
Oh, yeah. I can't wait to testing it on real people. That's going to be a good time. And that's always where you got to keep your eyes open for sure.
Oh, that's funny. That is so funny. So, what's your long-term goals in real estate? Is this going to be your full-time gig going forward, or
Yeah, I think so. What I'm aiming for is to. I currently live in Calgary, and my parents they live up here in Sherwood Park. Actually, that's where I am right now. I'm sitting in the Sherwood Park Public Library, by the way. They have a beautiful little rooms you can rent, and so yes, this was in lieu of doing this from my mom's kitchen table, and I want to move back. I want to come back to Edmonton. And when I land here, I want to kind of have a portfolio in the region to operate. So I want to be able to have that time freedom back, right? Have more time so I can spend some time with my parents and help them get to where they need to be next. They're entering that next phase of their life. And so I want to be here when that's happening. And so for me, yeah, the real estate investing is going to be something that I'm going to do. It's something that you can already kind of do if you're not like running the buildings yourself. If you have property management as the investor, you can work part-time. And that's where I'm looking to stay. I'm looking to stay in there. I know early on, Carla, my other partner, she would love get her hands. She loves renovation projects. So, we're gonna keep renovating until that itch is sufficiently scratched. And that could take a few years. So I'm sure that we'll be active in very certain ways.
right, right?
Yeah, that's the plan at least.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's great.
Mhm.
Uh, So, my next question, I don't know if this is relative. What has been your most successful real estate investment to date?
Yeah, that would be my house, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, my private property, that's it. Um, and so yeah, no, we're on the hunt. We're on the hunt for our first one. We've had a couple of close calls, a couple offers going out. And yeah, so our most successful one is, I'd like to say it's going to be our first one, but we all know how that is, right? We're going to do a lot of learning on our first one. But yeah, so that's where we're at. We're at that position right now where we're so excited. It's just I can feel it. It's getting closer and closer and closer. The more people we talk to, the more good stuff we're finding now, which is it's brilliant. I'm looking forward to it.
And the more walkthroughs you do and the more numbers you run, the better you get at it, right? Like looking for things,
Yeah.
looking for, oh, we can get a lift here by doing this. We can, like swap that out and it's really low cost but high value and
Hmm.
all those kind of things, right? And just what to look for in yeah, on your walkthroughs.
Oh, absolutely. And me, I love the mechanical room, right? So I walk in there and I look around, and the difference between what I see in the mechanical room and what I see in the units tells me everything I need to know about where this building was from
Right?
and where it's going, right?
Yeah.
And and once you have those 2 points on the map, the rest, it's not that it's easy. You still have to navigate it all, right? Like any business. But yeah. No, actually been really enjoying the walkthroughs and making the local relationships, because that's a part of making the local relationships, right? Yes, spend a lot of time with realtors, and property managers have been great,
Yeah.
actually.
You
I
you
mean,
know you know what
mhm.
my favorite is?
What's that?
Talking to the tenants.
Oh
Because
yeah,
you just ask them, oh, how long you lived here? And they'll just go on tell you their
yeah,
whole life story, right?
exactly right. So how's the
Find out
heat? That
so
was what I
much.
asked one. How's the heat? And he just goes, God, I'm getting the story. I'm getting the full story.
Right?
Yeah.
And they'll tell you the truth.
Yeah, honestly, that's it. And honestly, I love that, right? I mean, I just love the people.
Right, right.
And so when I'm faced with that, situation where I have that conversation, I love it. And like yeah, yeah, it's the tenants are awesome. And yeah, I mean, honestly, we talk about, like the first culture shock. Yeah, the first few buildings you walk through, it's like you walk into some units, you're like, oh wow, right? But okay, wait, hold on a second. But you acclimated to that pretty quick in
Yeah,
terms of everybody lives really differently, right? And so you kind of got to see it all
yeah,
as a part of getting into it. And once you've seen it all once, and after that, you just know what you're dealing with. You just keep moving, right?
yeah. It depends on the building too, right? Like what area it's in and what's the tenant profile for that area and which
Well, and that's it, right? Because
different standards. Yeah.
we're looking for areas that we know are turning over, right? So
Mm.
areas that are um, maybe weren't the nicest place to be before, but are changing, right?
Right. Right.
And there are areas like that, and there's other areas that weren't very nice, and they're not going to get nice, right? So we're looking for the first category, not the second, and that's where the local knowledge comes into play, right? So that's where
Right.
we're very tactical when we walk through, and so you are getting a place that is in transition. You're going to have a tenant profile that is a real mixed bag when you're starting, and
Right.
but you know that this neighborhood is changing, right? You see the infills going in up the street, you see the whatever, you see the people walking their dogs, during the daytime, and this kind of stuff, and you know that you get more families, more professionals coming that direction. Right now, it's not what you have, but it is what you will have,
Right.
and so you've got this huge variation what you find on the insides of those buildings, right? Which is fun for me, part of the fun, part of the excitement of the whole thing.
Yeah. So it's so true. So what types of investments in or investment opportunities are you currently seeking or you're open to? What
Yeah. So we're looking for, I mean, we've been looking specifically at kind of 10 units and up. Um, like my ideal would be, a 12-plex that's in, you know, a neighborhood that's turning over, right? I like established neighborhoods. I like established neighborhoods. I like older buildings. I like older buildings that then I can upgrade, right? I'm not necessarily looking to build right now. I know a lot of people like to build stuff. That's not what I've been looking for. I've been looking specifically for older buildings and upgrading them in either in town or adjacent to town. So or in secondary markets. So we see our opportunity. We see opportunities in Medicine Hat and we see opportunities in Lethbridge, which are two, I'd say they're cities number 4 and 5 in Edmonton in terms of size, right? I'm not including Grand Prairie, I suppose. And we know those cities. Like we know which neighborhoods are good and whatever. So for us, that's likely where we're looking. We're looking in there, but we've been spending most of our time in Edmonton because like I said, I want to return to Edmonton. I want to live here again.
Mhm.
And for me, being close to and things around Edmonton, right? Short Park, Spruce Grove, St. Albert, Leduc. These are the places that are around here. So that those are the kinds of things that we're looking for. Older buildings, and we're going to want to upgrade them and keep them running in established communities because I love that there's already schools and all that kind of stuff there. And um, I mean, if I could wave a magic wand and get exactly what I wanted, I'd have an apartment building on White Avenue in Edmonton. That's what I would have, right? Uh,
I
Bay
mean,
Area, super nice, trendy little spot, connected to university, lots of great, very walkable, all these great things. Because if this is a community I also care about, right? As a person, as an investor, that's probably not the best move, right? As an investor, you want to kind of look somewhere. You're gonna follow that development opportunity. You're gonna follow the opportunity to upgrade. And either way, though, I'm still looking for old existing buildings, and I'm wanting to upgrade them. I'm happy to look at conversions. I've seen people doing conversions, and that intrigues me for sure. New builds aren't as interesting to me, even though I really understand the appeal. I
mhm.
just haven't been looking for them.
Conversions of what?
Oh, like taking an existing building that was a commercial space, maybe commercial on the main floor, and it got converted to commercial on the upper floor, but could be converted back to residential, right?
Mhm.
But once again, these are older buildings,
Mhm.
um, or in more like older neighborhoods. Uh, and I honestly, when I saw Vitali doing church conversions, I immediately started looking at what's around here that looks like a church.
Yeah.
Turns out there's not good churches, not like the
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
there's nothing that beautiful and old because once again, I love old buildings too, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah. I know somebody else that's doing a church conversion. It's pretty cool.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it's a neat idea.
Yeah. 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 We had looked at a school at one point, very old school, but the challenge with that is there's a lot of space that can't be converted, because you can't have windows and, it's got,
Mm-hmm.
hallways that are 20 feet wide, but you can't make it, because there's
Yeah.
no windows. So you can't, like, you could almost put another apartment in there, but it's just kind of wasted space, which is very unfortunate, unless
Yeah. Hey, I'm just trying to
you,
imagine converting
yeah,
a school.
right.
Try anything twice. That's what I
Yeah.
say. But yeah, I mean, it's some of the schools too, the ones here, I know the one I went to actually just around the corner here. It's built in the 60s. And I swear it was modeled after a prison,
Yeah.
right? Like that
Yeah.
would be fantastic if
Yeah.
I could convert Sherwood Heights. Oh, it'd be beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, it's just, get creative, right? And look at all kinds of different opportunities and what can work and working with different people to make things happen. But
Yeah, for sure.
so what's been the one challenge so far that is really your biggest
Oh, yeah, well, as a person getting started, the biggest challenge, of course, is money, right? Getting connected to money. I've got some of my own capital, right? And I'm happy to put it into deals. Um, I was planning on using it mostly to kind of pre-fund, the closing costs and that kind of stuff, right? But still work with investors.
Mhm.
So actually finding investors is I would say the hardest part it's certainly for me, and I think for a lot of newcomers.
Mhm.
And um, and for me, a big chunk of that is, of course, the imposter syndrome, right? Of like, oh, well, why would anybody want to talk to me, right? As a real estate investor, and so I don't reach out as much as I should, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
And my friends and family, or people, anybody I've worked with in the past, they're all in. Like, sure, right? You're going to do this. Tell us what you're doing, right? And
Mhm.
let's have these conversations. But I'm thinking like reaching outside of that network for me, that's been the challenge. So it manifests as needing passive investors, right? Who are, and honestly, I want to deal with more experienced ones because I'm also trying to learn at the same time, right?
Right.
Some new moves, right? While I'm picking up, like I can count on myself for the business aspect of what's going on, but I do want someone I could talk to who knows maybe a little bit more about this. So I really would love to connect with people who are making that transition from being active investors to passive investors right now, because
Oh, that would be the ideal situation. Yes.
that
Yeah.
would be the ideal situation, right?
Yeah.
And so, yeah, try hooking that up.
Yeah. 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 Put it
Yeah,
out there. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. I could
Yeah.
put that out to the universe, but it turns
Yeah.
out you have to directly chase that sort of thing, right? Like,
Yeah.
and so for me, that's been the main challenge. Actually finding the properties to get interested in walking, talking to realtors, making the relationships, making the negotiations. These are all things that are easy for me because of my
Mhm.
background and my past and just how I
Right.
do business.
Right.
And also it's supported, right? I mean, a realtor is looking for you. So that makes it a lot easier to get found. But generally the getting hooked up with the people with the money who want to invest, the passive investors, that's been harder. And so for me, hooking up with being in the local communities, that gets me local people, right? Which is cool.
Hmm.
But they tend to want to stay in Calgary,
Hmm.
right? They want to stay in Calgary because they're in Calgary real estate investing groups,
Right.
right? And so try to tell somebody there, oh, well, Edmonton, you can do like this, or you can get this other return, right? They don't want to hear it.
Yeah.
So I have to find a way to reach out and get past that, get into other groups, people who want to be in Alberta who aren't already in Alberta.
Hmm.
That's been my approach. And of course, my mileage varies greatly.
Well, I think it's just a matter of too, just putting yourself out there, right?
Mhm.
Because the investor can be virtually anywhere, right? And that's the beautiful thing about the internet is and social media is that we can get our message out there to people and find somebody whose appetite is for the Edmonton market or one of these other markets that the numbers work better than Calgary and
Yep.
right and that you are the boots on the ground and it's just yeah connecting with the right person or people that make the deal go together.
Yeah. And it's yeah, exactly. And so for me, that's the thing. That's where the work is.
Hmm.
The work is there. And so that's where when I've got my real estate hours I'm spending it on cracking that nut, talking to people, doing outreaches, sorting out what does a good relationship look like? How do I structure it? All that good stuff.
Yep.
Right. And then calling out, talking to people.
That's all you can do.
That's all you can do.
That's all
That's
you can do. Yeah. Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
But the truth is, I was running really kind of stealthily early on, right? I didn't really have a social media presence. I wasn't really out there talking to people, and that's where the mastermind really came into play,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? Because that's where you bring your big scary problem that you have, and then you break it down, right? And you've got all of
Little
these people.
actionable steps. Right?
Exactly. And so I started taking my actions, and they're panning out, right?
Right?
So yeah, I'm doing my
Mhm.
lives. Okay, here I am. I'm right here, right now, right with you.
Yep.
Everything to expand the reach and hopefully, add value to people along the way.
That's right. It's just it's a great way to let people know what you're doing and to be able to offer them the opportunity to make some money from real estate investing without them having to do all the modules, to do all the networking, to source the deals, to source, everything that's involved in it. And it's a great way for us to just say, hey, guys, you can make some serious dough investing
Yeah.
in real estate, right?
Yeah.
And
The reason you can't reach your real estate investment friends is because they're on vacation. Yeah. Like, have you ever thought that through? Yeah. No, it's
in the
really true.
Azores masterminding.
Oh, that was so beautiful. That was such a great time. But yeah. So anyway, so that's that's for me what's the hardest bit to hook up, and that's something I'm every day working on chasing. And for me, it's part of it's being a little more introverted, right? I'm good at execution. I'm good at like numbers. I'm good at stitching ends together. I'm good at making call. I'm good at making things operate and happen. But ask me to go and just phone a stranger, complete stranger, do an actual outreach. um, I've always had people to do that for me. And so I'm taking this as a personal growth opportunity to do more of that myself.
Yeah, that's amazing, right? And it's again, it's actionable steps, right? What did you have the 30-day challenge?
Yes,
Life
my
challenge?
30-day live challenge, which I
Yeah.
did pretty good till the last week when I started to sputter out. I'm traveling more. And so I haven't
Okay.
been going live every day, but I've been going live
Yeah.
indoors,
I think
outdoors.
Karen stuck to it. I think she's still going.
Oh, I see her. I see her
Yeah.
online and
Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
just put you to shame there, Tony.
Oh, I know, I know, I know. I did actually what I did do though is I read this because a sales book, a book, and I did the Introvert's Guide to Outreach or the Introvert's
Okay.
Guide to Getting Out There.
Okay.
I did a
Very good.
three-part
Yeah.
series. I put it together and I posted it in the inner circle so people can see it there, but it's also just on my feed. So anybody who comes finds me on social media will find the Introvert's Guide to Reaching Out. It's based on a book I read, one of my mastermind items. Read some books on outreach, on sales, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
And part of developing that muscle. And yeah, so decided I would take my lives and I would do this with it. I would actually, because the point is to add value to the people, right? Add
Right.
value to people
Right.
who are out there.
Yeah.
For every person like me, or there's probably a lot of people like me who really want to be,
Oh my
you know,
goodness. So many people. So many
yeah,
people. Yeah. Yeah. I'm
that's it.
I'm quite comfortable talking that I mean, that's what I do for a living. That's
Hmm.
what when when I was in grade 4, I think I won the public speaking contest for my school. Like I'm just never been so I know I'm very blessed to be comfortable talking in front of people and I know a lot of people have a challenge with it. So um yeah, I try to invite as many people as I can and make them comfortable,
Yeah,
when we're doing this. Like I always say to everybody, it's very organic. It's very, we're just having a conversation, right? We're just and out of that conversation, we hope to be able to give some value to the listeners. And
absolutely. And I think like for someone who is who maybe isn't as secure, right, in having a conversation. Like for me, what's worked is the like I'm good one-on-one. Like we're having this conversation right now. It flows. Right. We're talking about things. Like we've got a topic and we can just talk. Um, start there.
Yeah.
Start there.
Yeah.
And then inch your way up.
And when you're
Right.
doing a live, you're talking to nobody, right? So you just
You're talking to nobody, yeah. And so honestly, as an introvert, that really, really worked for me.
that was
Um,
that was really easy, right?
it's like, wait, it's a thing I can do. That's like I'm having a conversation, but I'm by myself. I'm all in, right? I can do this. Right? Give
That's
me a topic in 3 minutes. Done. Yeah, yeah, I can talk.
that's
But then zeroing in on the value, right? So zeroing in on, what is the message here, right? Like, how can I
right.
help someone else?
And
Whether,
what was the
hmm?
name of that book? That
Oh, the book I was reading it's called New Sales Simplified.
okay.
It's by a
And
coach. What's that?
specifically for introverts or
No, no, not at all. Not at all.
okay.
Not
Oh,
at all.
okay.
It's for
Okay.
he's a coach coaches organizations in rebuilding sales teams.
Oh, okay.
So I mean the focus of the book was more about, you're selling like insurance or something, right? So how do
Okay.
you like structure the sales team to go do that?
Okay.
And for me, sales was just a black box in general up to now,
Okay.
right? Like I never really understood just, and then stuff happens and customers show up,
Yeah.
right? I was always focused on what happens when they show up. How do they like get through? I never worried about the social media, talking to people,
Right, right, right,
having those conversations, like making those business to business connections.
right, right,
It was always my tech founders who brought that, or my founders who brought that. I
right,
brought the actual solution to the problem, right? Like
right.
that was the part I brought. And so for me, it was always this black box. And so I needed to demystify it because, and break it down into actionable steps, break it down into little actionable steps.
Mhm.
Because for me, I would just not do them because it
Yeah,
just seemed like it was too big a problem,
yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah,
So, but, you know, I'm always good with things that are actual issues right now. So like if you're, if my tap won't stop running, I won't defer. I will go deal with that right now, right?
yeah.
But if I don't have to make 5 calls today, probably won't, right? I have to break them down into these little steps and
So I have this sticky note that on my wall here, and it says everything is attainable in 5 steps. Okay, and that's yeah, you just have to break things down, right?
Mhm.
Yep. And it's what do they say? How do you eat an elephant?
One bite at a time.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's the same thing, right? Like everything you do is doable. You just got to break it down.
Yeah. Yeah. It's been really I mean I've been loving the education aspect of this actually. So digging in and really understanding how it works. Like there's a lot of moving pieces and getting like we focus on acquiring a building, but really it spends 90% of its life in operations, right?
Right. Right.
And that's where the rubber really hits the road. And
Yeah. Yeah.
um, it's it's amazing the number of how thinly we slice those disciplines, right?
Yes. Yes.
And
Yes.
when you meet, anyway, go ahead.
Oh, I was on a podcast earlier today and we were discussing that. Like the acquisition is
Mhm.
like the smallest part of it,
It's just tiny
right?
slice.
Yeah. Yes. It's like, yeah, what do you do with it after you have it, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and yet it's like if you have a problem in that stage, like yeah, you don't go anywhere, right?
Yeah. Hmm.
And the execution, for me, execution matters greatly. Um, and that's where I'm really excited for the challenges that are ahead here.
Yes, that's very exciting. So, if anybody is looking, you're looking for active, passive, um, qualifying
Yeah,
partners.
yeah, absolutely. I'm looking for people who want to be out here in Alberta because that's close to where I operate, right?
Mm.
I've got the local network. I'm finding the properties that I want to invest in or I think are good projects. Um, so I'm looking for passive investors, people who want to be out here but don't have local partnership yet, right? I'm looking for people who want to be active out here. You know, maybe they already got financing and all this other kind of stuff figured out, and they need someone to help with, you know, hook up the details, right? And actually be the person who's going to be on site, right? When the time comes, when the calls come in, that kind of stuff. So boots on the ground kind of situation. And qualifying partners are going to always be present, right? If the passive investor doesn't want to commit their, net worth statement, then that's fine, right? And then a qualifying partner, it's a nice way to get a little tiny slice of a thing, right?
Absolutely.
So I'm kind of shopping for everything. Well, I'm not really shopping. I'm hoping to attract these things into my life. I've had good luck with finding renovation partners out here, and I've had good luck with, and of course, just the network in general, like the support network, property management, all that kind of stuff. It's out here.
Hmm.
It's out here. You start hanging out with local people who are already investing, you get connected pretty quick.
Absolutely. And they have their Rolodex, right? Like hey,
Mhm.
I need a plumber. it's the same thing here, right? With the local investors and who'd you use for this and what
Oh,
was
the community's great.
right? What was your
Like
experience with that? And yeah,
I,
yeah.
it's so nice, actually. It
Isn't
is
it?
so nice.
Isn't
Oh,
it?
and it's so
People just
nice.
share. Yeah.
They will
Oh, stay away from that
absolutely
guy. Or yeah,
share.
oh no,
Yeah.
he does terrible work. Or he's
Yeah, yeah. Well,
yeah,
yeah, they'll
yeah,
share, which by the way,
exactly, exactly.
also is a
Or
high accountability in who's involved, right?
it
Because if
is, it is. Or he shows up when he says he's going to, and he's a little more money, but he's reliable and he does good work. Okay, I'll pay a little bit more for, because time is money in real estate investing, right? Like you want chop, 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 right?
Oh yeah, you want to know what you're dealing with. Like you want
Yeah,
people who are
yeah.
good. You want to know the box, what's their sweet spot, and you want to
Yeah,
bring them
yeah,
things that fit in their sweet spot. And if you do
exactly.
that, you'll never go wrong here.
Exactly. Think outside the box because maybe you can do a $300 fix instead of a $3,000 fix, right? Like
Oh yeah.
somebody like that is somebody who's experienced that it's worth paying a couple bucks more to have somebody like that because they in the long run they can save you a ton of money in time and in later fixes or just doing it a different way because they're experienced. But
Oh
absolutely.
yeah. Yeah. Like innovation is continuing to happen
Yeah.
literally all the time,
Yeah.
right? And I mean, I'm coming from an industry where like it's dizzying how fast the innovation was happening, right? So
Yeah. Yeah.
here it's great. Here it's great. It's a manageable pace, right? People are always willing to try new things here. And yeah, and yeah, so I'm excited for that aspect because I know I've got a lot to a lot to give on that side for
Yeah,
sure.
absolutely. Yeah. That's the power of community. So, anybody who is looking to invest out in Alberta market, give Tony Facebook? What?
Yeah, Facebook's good for this. I'm also on LinkedIn, right? On LinkedIn, you're going to see all my tech career, but Facebook is where I focus my real estate investing stuff right now. So yeah, just hit me up on Facebook, DM me, friend me, all that goodness, and yeah, and we'll have a conversation. It'll be amazing.
Awesome. Well, thank you again, Tony, for joining me tonight. Good to see you again. And Alberta's a hot market, so anybody looking for boots on the ground out there, sounds like Tony's your guy.
Yep, exactly.
Conversation with him about what his systems work like.
Beautiful. Yes, thanks, Jan. It was great to see you.
Great to see you too. Thanks everybody for joining tonight, and we'll see you all next week.